Welcome to the Geeks and Greeks podcast, where we bring in the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports. All right. That is the crowds cheering for the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday.
Hell yeah. Oh, February
it's finally
football.
Here.
It is. It's the best. Playing football in February. I know you guys, you're not used to it. You haven't done it in a little while. It's a good time. You should try it sometime. February football is the best time to play.
Actually, I think it's legitimately been 30 years at this point since Dallas
I think you're right.
It was 1995 was the last year Dallas won the Super Bowl and was actually ever in a Super Bowl.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's been 30 years.
30 years.
My
goodness.
I think it's 15 to attend and 20 to win.
Was it 2006 for you? So
yeah, the 06 season. So
yeah,
January of 07
so
was our
pretty
win.
Close. So it means I've been a Cowboys fan for 30 years at this point.
Maybe you're their jinx. You should start rooting for a different team and bring the Cowboys a championship, buddy.
You know what? I've thought about it. I'm not going to lie. There's been a few years where I've definitely thought about it.
Yeah.
There's been some dark days, man. There's been some dark days.
He's so self-conscious if you start rooting for another team and the Cowboys go on a hot streak.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe. At the same time, I don't take it that seriously. You
Fair.
really can't. Because you
That's
know what?
true.
They don't care.
Yeah.
What's one fan to them? They don't give a shit.
Yeah. And moreover, they're going to make their money regardless.
Yeah.
For
Especially
every
the Cowboys.
Yeah, especially the Cowboys. They're making money in spite of themselves. They lose ridiculously. Their owner is garbage, and yet everyone loves them.
They're American.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. Jerry Jones is the Vince McMahon of the NFL. He had a great product in the 90s. He ran it in the ground, but yet is still the most successful owner in the NFL history.
And no one knows why, and nobody likes him.
Nope. And yet everyone still loves him, and he still is the most valued owner in the sport.
Right.
So
bizarre.
All right, so let's kick things off with the Pro Bowl recap, which it's about what we were expecting. I gotta say, the most interesting thing about the skills challenge was the fact that they got Terry Crews to be the reporter host guy. He's Terry Crews. He's chock full of charisma and personality, and he makes things interesting.
Had I known Terry Crews was going to be on it, it might have been enough for me to watch, at least a little bit. Because I love Terry Crews. That man has a direct line to my funny bone. I never stop laughing when that guy's on TV.
Oh, man. Those Old Spice commercials where he had the sensors on his muscles.
Right? Oh, I love it.
And then the flag football. Yeah, it was flag football, and I'm The only thing I have to say is that you guys were right. If you remove the defense from the game, it becomes lame pretty quick.
Yeah.
So really, all that this was an audition for the NFL flag football team going to the Olympics.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's really about it. That's all I got.
But on the plus side for Adam, Cavante Turpin, if I'm sorry I butchered that first name, he went to the Pro Bowl as a return specialist, but was utilized as a pass rusher in the flag football game, and he was amazing. He forced like 4 turnovers.
So what's the rule for pass rushing in flag football?
I don't know, but it was the first flag ever thrown in flag football was an illegal blitz by Cavante Turpin. I was like, oh, what's an illegal blitz?
Maybe you got to count to like 12 Mississippi and then you can rush them, something like that.
But I did think it was hilarious that for 2 weeks in a row, we got to hear about the palpably unfair act. Because the end of the flag football game, there were guys running off the bench to try and tackle the guy who was going in for a touchdown.
Oh God, that's great.
But yeah, it wasn't football, but it was kind of fun, so I will give them that.
Yeah, I suppose I should watch this once or twice because I do want to go see the flag football in the Olympics when they're in LA. But I guess I should prepare myself for what I'm going to see because I've never watched NFL flag football. Last time I watched flag football, it was 7-year-olds playing it.
Yeah, they're probably about the same level as what you get in the Olympics. Probably.
Oh man, they actually threw a flag one time. 7-year-olds playing flag football, and the referee actually threw his flag on the play. I think it was like offsides.
Really?
It was like, come on, they're 7. Like,
you're lucky they're on the field,
right? Oh man, there was one time, and I will sort of go off a little off topic, but there was one time where there was a kid. And he was laying down in between the offensive and the defensive line. And the defensive coordinator is like looking around. He's like, Jimmy, where's Jimmy? Jimmy, where's Jimmy? And then finally the linemen are just like pointing down. He's like, oh my God, Jimmy, you're right here. And he's one of the linebackers who picks him up and moves him. 7-year-olds playing football is hilarious.
Oh, that does sound great.
But 7-year-olds playing any sport is hilarious.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
But moving along to the Super Bowl, we at the Geeks and Greeks podcast have a small PSA that we need to play for our audience.
This is a Geeks and Greeks public service announcement. This Sunday will be the Super Bowl, and at Super Bowl parties, you will typically have 3 kinds of people. Specifically for this Super Bowl, you will have the people rooting for the Eagles, who see this Super Bowl against the Chiefs as...
round 2 coming up!
Then you will have people rooting for the Chiefs, who see the Super Bowl as...
You want to see me do it again?
And finally, you will have the third group of people. These are the people rooting for Lamar. No, not Lamar Jackson, Kendrick Lamar. That's right. These are the people who are more interested in the commercials and the halftime show than the game. These are people that will get mad at the football fans for talking about that last-second Saquon touchdown in the second while the television is listing the sponsors of the halftime show by Apple Music. So football fans, remember to let the non-fans enjoy the commercials and halftime show and not to make fun of them for not knowing what Fumblerooski means. Let us fans celebrate high scores, amazing plays, and the chance to see both of these teams do it again next Super Bowl. And to all, no matter who wins, something great happens. If the Chiefs win, you get to see the first three-peat in NFL history. If the Eagles win, you get to see the greatest ending to Hard Knocks with Joe Shane and John Mara watching the television in his office with Saquon holding the trophy high over his head. So enjoy the game, commercials, halftime show, friends, and food. This has been a Geeks and Greeks public service announcement. Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
That was hilarious.
That was awesome. You know what? Honestly, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl halftime show too. I am so looking forward to Kendrick Lamar's halftime. I can't wait for that.
Man, I gotta get more into pop culture. Like, this stuff passes me by. I have no idea who Kendrick Lamar is. I couldn't name you a single one of his songs. And like, someone was like, "Oh, Kendrick Lamar's doing the Super Bowl." It's like, "Oh, he must be popular. I wonder who he is." Like, no idea.
He's been around for a while, but he just won he just won like 3 or 4 Grammys this week actually.
Yeah.
I think Tuesdays was the Grammys. And his big thing this year was he started a beef with Drake and won the beef.
Oh, he's that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew about the beef with Drake, but I didn't know who the other side was.
The hit single that he came out with was Not Like Us, where he basically came out and called Drake a pedophile.
Yeah.
That's Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
And I will guarantee he's going to be singing that song at the Super Bowl halftime show.
That's awesome.
Because I can't see him not singing that song at the halftime show.
Oh man, that's great.
And he did a concert in L.A. and where that was a big part of the show was just that, and it was just that song on repeat a couple different times.
Nice.
With some fairly big names and some NBA stars were there, and it was if you ever get a chance, look it up. It was pretty good. It's
nice.
It's pretty fun, and yeah, Drake has not recovered from it, and Drake has pretty much stayed indoors since it's happened.
So, no joke, the only reason I even know who Drake is because you remember that meme with a chick who got Drake tattooed on her forehead? And I don't know if it was real or not, but it like went around for like a while. And it was just like, "Oh, you think you're having a bad day. Realize this is someone in the world right now." It was just like a chick with Drake tattooed on her forehead. It was just like, and that was the only reason I knew who he was. And like, it's funny, like I listened to the exact same music I listened to in high school. And like when those bands put out a new album, I'm like, cool. But any other music just all the way over my head. I listen to podcasts anymore. Like I barely listen to music. It's kind of sucks. Man, late 30s are weird.
But yeah, if you get a chance, I would recommend listening to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. It's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
I've kind of had it on repeat for a while since this summer. It's been bumping in the car.
That's great.
All right, moving on to the next subject, the Super Bowl party foods idea. Now, if you're still looking for ideas for food to have at your Super Bowl party, may I recommend the obvious Philly cheesesteaks and Kansas City ribs. But if you're looking to be a little more creative, may I suggest the cherry rice cakes, Rice Krispie treats with cherry syrup, the baker's turnovers. It's just a plate of 18 turnovers. The Darnold wings. They start out hot, become very bland very quickly. Make sure you only take 3 because you will never get the 4th down. And finally, a large birthday cake. No joke here. It's because it's Saquon's birthday, and you have a right to have a birthday cake at your Super Bowl party.
Hell yeah. Dude, not only is it Saquon's birthday, but it is also National Pizza Day.
Perfect.
So.
I feel like this is just shaping up to be like one of the greatest days ever.
It might be greatest days in history. And like, it's going to be so great. We'll see. I don't want to jinx anything.
That's the rule in Philly. You're not allowed to say anything for 5 more days.
Right. Yep.
Moving on to Super Bowl prop bets. We're gonna start off a little silly and then move into the serious. Pete, heads or tails?
On the coin toss?
On the coin toss.
Let's go with tails.
Adam.
Heads.
The surprise halftime show appearance by Taylor Swift, Beyonce, both or neither?
Ooh, I mean, Beyonce just cleaned up at the Grammys, right? Or won a Grammy for the first time or something.
Got a couple Grammys for like best country album and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bet Beyonce is going to be there. And like, does it count as a surprise appearance if Taylor Swift shows up? Because like, we know Taylor Swift is going to be there.
Yeah, so she's already going to be there. I don't know. I'm going to say neither though. I don't think Kendrick really rocks with either one of them, to be honest with you.
I'm going to go with Beyonce because who wouldn't rock with Beyonce? I mean,
I'm going to say neither.
All right. I said heads and I said neither. Color of Gatorade dumped on the winning coach first.
Ooh. Let's see. What was dumped on Sirianni at the end of the championship? I want to say that was orange. And I'm going to go with consistency here. So we're going to say orange.
Okay. Adam?
I'm going to say that if it is the Eagles and it's Sirianni, I'm going to say green.
I am going for yellow.
Wait, is there a difference between green and yellow Gatorade? I thought there were...
Oh.
I mean, they're different flavors, yeah.
Flavor is green Gatorade. It's not lemon lime?
Nah, it's green apple.
Oh. Okay.
I was just going green for Philly, honestly.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
I've never seen green. I've never seen it in the fight. It's either like blue or orange or red or something.
Yeah. I mean, you said green. I just assumed you meant lemon lime, and then Tom said yellow, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Nah, the green is like a green apple flavor.
Okay.
So,
all right.
The yellow is lemon lime.
All right. Over under for the rest of these. John Batiste, the national anthem. Over under 120.5 seconds.
Can you give it to me in minutes?
Jesus.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes, 5 seconds, right? 125.
120.5.
Oh, 120.5.
I put the point on for over.
I'm going to go with over, but I also don't know how long the song's supposed to be, so...
Well, to give you an idea, Reba McEntire knocked it out in 90 seconds, or a minute and a half last year.
Okay. So, still going to go over.
Yeah, I'm going to take over as well. I have no idea who John Baptiste is, so I don't know if he's going to drag it out now, but I'm going to go over.
He is the Paul Schaefer to Stephen Colbert on the late night show. So he's that. He's the music guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll still say over.
Yeah, he seems really big into jazz, so I can see him stringing it out. One of my favorites. The jersey number of the first player to score a touchdown. Plus or minus 15.5.
I mean, I'm going to go plus.
Plus.
Yeah, I'm going for Saquon, but I would think it's hilarious if the first touchdown was a defense fumble recovery. I'm looking at you, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I also think there's a very big possibility that might be the number one, because the Eagles love getting down to the 1 yard line and then just doing a tush push. Like, that's like their favorite way to score. But hopefully, going with over.
Roughing the passer calls on Mahomes. Plus or minus 1.5.
I was gonna say minus. Under. Yeah, I take under 0.5.
Over.
You're taking over.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping it's under because heaven help Mahomes if that Eagles defense thinks they're getting screwed over, they will not hold back.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking this the wrong way. Yeah, over. Can I change mine?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Yeah, he's gonna get more than one.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
He's gonna get
missed
more than
roughing the
two.
passer. I don't know why I was like thinking it was like missed roughing the passer penalties or something. I don't know.
They're gonna call more than two roughing the passer penalties on him.
Yeah.
For him.
Okay. Sorry. Yes.
I'm hoping under. I'm hoping under.
I'm going over too. I'm sorry.
Did you see that this week that the referees are all like, I don't know why everyone thinks that there's a giant conspiracy that we're trying to help them win.
Dude,
Like, you don't see why everyone thinks that when every time that there's a close game, you magically call a roughing the passer penalty every game, every single one,
every single time. It's so bad that other sports refer to their referees as Kansas City referees when they're doing bad things.
Oh my God! Have you watched the Rumble yet?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, dude, they referenced like how bad the NFL has become like multiple times during the Rumble. It was hilarious.
It was great.
Oh my God, it was hysterical. It's like, this isn't Kansas City, man. We've got good refs here.
Right? Yeah, we got good refs here.
All right. Saquon rushing yards plus or minus 150.5.
Whew. That's a lot of yards.
In the Super Bowl.
But it's his birthday, so I gotta go over.
I'm going over as well. I'm
Over.
I'm thinking he's going to put up 175 in that game.
Yeah.
Oh.
I have a feeling that they're gonna try to make Jalen throw the ball a lot. And
every team's tried to make Jalen throw the ball a lot. It doesn't always work.
Yeah. I mean, you saw what happened to the Commanders when Saquon got the ball.
I mean, we saw what happened all season when people tried to make Jalen throw the ball a lot.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
A.J. Brown touchdowns plus or minus 1.5.
Oh, 1.5. I'm going to go under. I think he's going to get one, but I don't think
that's me too.
2.
What do you think, Adam?
Yeah. Under.
Jalen Hurts passing yards 200.5.
Wow. Come on. That's definitely over. I mean, I get he doesn't throw the ball a lot, and I know he's had under 200-yard games, but this is the Super Bowl. Like, he's definitely going to have over 200 yards. I don't know.
Under.
You think under?
Yeah.
Oh, 200 seems like such a low ball.
I mean, it's Jalen Hurts passing. I mean, that's it.
Now, if it was all-purpose yards, for sure.
Even then, not really, because you only get 2 yards at a time when he runs.
Oh, yeah, tush push.
Well,
You get the tush push.
other than his scrambles.
It's like watching Jerome Bettis, man.
Oh, God.
Patrick Mahomes passing yards 250.5.
I'll go over.
I mean, how else are they going to score other than him throwing all over the place? So, yeah, I'll go over, too.
Yeah, I'm over. Travis Kelce, all-purpose yards, 120.5.
I'm going to go under on that one.
Me too.
I'm actually going to go over. I think this is going to be the one game where he'll turn the clock back.
I mean, he kind of did in the championship. I think he had like 100 yards and a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking, too. I don't think he's going to push over 100.
I think he'll get like one really big play where he'll break it for like 60, 70 yards. And then the rest of it, he'll get some good medium gains after the rest of it. But yeah, I think we'll get one real big over the top play in this game that he just happens to sneak one by.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy, first downs, plus or minus 4.5.
Under. He's
That
not a
was
possession
quick.
receiver. He's a deep threat.
You talked me into it. I'll go under 2.
Yeah, that's me too.
He's the Steve Smith. He's not your Marvin Harrison. He's going to catch you on the sideline and take you down there like that.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, plus or minus 1.5 completions.
Oh, minus. He's not even going to get on the field. Why are we asking this question?
It's a legit question, but no,
It's not.
Garbage time in the Super Bowl?
Plus or minus half a clipboard broken. Like, what are we talking about?
Oh, heck. All right, and for the final 2 prop bets, in the event of an Eagles win, who is the MVP?
Saquon.
Yeah, I got to agree with that.
All right, and the last one, in the events of a Chiefs win, who is the MVP?
Patrick Mahomes.
I can't say Saquon for this one, can I?
No.
You know,
I mean,
I did. It has happened. Someone from the losing team has won MVP.
Has it? That's shocking. I was just kidding really with that. Yeah, I don't think it's anybody other than Mahomes.
I was split between Chris Jones and Mahomes, but yeah, you're right. It's going to be Mahomes.
Like the Eagles one, it'd be Saquon, or like if like someone in the secondary were to pick off like Mahomes twice, like it'd be that for like somebody.
Brandon Graham comes back and gets another strip sack. Hell yeah!
Like Gardner Johnson gets 2 picks or something like that. But like, I mean, my money would be on Saquon. Like I said, 175 and like 2 touchdowns. That's your game MVP right there.
Yeah, for sure. And that moves us along to the NBA Game of the Week.
All right.
All right. So last week's Game of the Week was the Houston Rockets versus the Memphis Grizzlies, and this game was a really good game. It came down to the last shot of the game. Final score ended up being 120-119, and this was just a fun game all the way around. I hope you guys enjoyed it watching as much as I did. I know Pete hasn't enjoyed it as much as I was hoping you would in general.
No, I the only thing I've complained about is the commentary. I've enjoyed the games. I'm a commentary snob, I guess. I don't know.
I will say I get the big difference between NFL commentary and NBA commentary. There is kind of a gap between that, whereas the NFL is better at breaking down what is going on and happening, whereas the NBA isn't quite as good at doing that. I do see that, and that can be hard for people getting into the NBA, and it can be definitely a hindrance when trying to bring in new fans, especially if you don't already know basketball well or at all for that matter.
Right.
I can see that.
Well, and that's part of the reason why I want to do this, because I wanted to watch good games and I want to understand what a good game looks like, because I just don't, being a Sixers fan, as sad as that sounds, and I wouldn't even say I was a Sixers fan. I like the Sixers because I'm from Philly. Like, I don't watch them. I sometimes know what their record is. Like, but I've been getting that. I think I'm expecting something more out of penalties than basketball has to offer. And I know how ridiculous that sounds, but I think that between watching football and over analyzing it and being super into it and stuff like that, I'm realizing that like there's a lot of structure to the penalties in football. And like there are nuances and there are like very, very specific rules. Like if you are an inch off from where you hit somebody, it could be 15 yards or it could be a clean hit, just within 1 inch of hitting the guy. And I don't think you're going to get that in other sports. They just feel like it's more of a vibe. Like, no, I know that was a penalty and I'm just going to call it a penalty. At least that's what this game felt like. Because like there were so many times where it was like, I don't understand why that was a charge and the thing he did like 30 seconds before it was not a charge, but they looked identical to each other. And it was like, I just feel like it's like, if it's a vibe, if it feels like a penalty, it's a penalty. If it's a blatant, like you tripped a dude, obviously it's a penalty. But like the rest of it's kind of loosey-goosey. And I think if I could just relax and let that happen, which I did with this game a lot more, I think I enjoy it more. I don't know. This game was a lot of fun. I gotta say though, watching on the League Pass and getting to see all the like fanfare stuff in between the like timeouts and stuff, this was the best one yet. They were celebrating the Chinese New Year and they had all these different like dancers come out and they had like the like dancing lions come out. I like that more than the game. I mean, it was a great game. Don't get me wrong, but like just watching like. Watching these like Chinese lions dancing on a basketball court with just like 7-foot tall dudes in sweatsuits walking behind them. It's just so surreal.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see some of the stuff that they'll put on in between, like between like the periods and with the timeouts and the halftime shows.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I didn't realize that it was the Chinese New Year. And so, like, I'm watching it and I'm like, what does the Chinese tradition have to do with Memphis? Like, I was so confused at first. Then I finally heard in the commentary they were talking about the Chinese New Year. And I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense all of a sudden. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. Cool, got it. I'm like, I didn't think they had a big, like, Chinatown thing in Memphis, but apparently they did. Okay, I guess. I mean, and then I heard him talking about the Chinese New Year. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes way more sense all of a sudden. Okay, well, yeah, cool. That's kind of neat.
I gotta tell you, I gotta check out a Sixers game on the League Pass because I need to know what they do in between timeouts. I might start going to games. Like this is just so goddamn entertaining.
Yeah, and that's one thing I kind of wish that I lived closer to. I mean, we live in between actually 3 major sports teams. We're kind of in the middle of the Bulls, the Pacers, and the Pistons. We're like almost directly between all 3 of them. We're closer to the Pacers than any of them, but it's like I don't really follow. I mean, I follow the Pacers because we are the closest to the Pacers, and also I used to work for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, who were a subsidy of the Pacers. They moved him down to Indy starting last season. So, I mean, I don't work for him anymore, which kind of sucks. It was really dumb. They gave the excuse that they wanted him to be closer to Indy. It's like an hour, 15-minute drive. Well, it's an hour and 15-minute drive. You don't even really need a plane to get down to Indy. It's not even that far of a drive. But it's like, really the whole thing was about they wanted more revenue from the stadium, and they weren't going to get it, so they moved them down there to get more income revenue for it, basically.
That sucks.
Which it is what it is, but it was fun while it lasted. But yeah, I used to do the stats. I used to keep live stats for them while they played, so I went to all the home games. I was there on the court while they did the stats and everything, and so it was awesome. A lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and did it because I liked it and liked basketball, not because they paid us well.
I imagine, yeah.
So, but it was a lot of fun though, getting to do that and go to all the games and just learn how to do that and how to input the stats and everything. I mean, it was really cool. So, but this game had a really good tempo to it, and these guys played hard. And these teams are 2 young teams. These are 2 of the younger teams in the league.
Yeah.
And these were the 2nd and 3rd ranked teams in the West as well. And the starting center for the Grizzlies was Zach Edey, who's from Purdue and went to Purdue last year, and he was the 2-time Naismith College Player of the Year. And dude is big. He's like 7'4", 300 and I think he's like 300 pounds. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
And I forgot just how nimble that dude was on his feet, which for a guy that big, he can move pretty well. And it showed. Like, he had some pretty good footwork around the rim and had some pretty soft touch. And the mask he was wearing kind of reminded me of like a wrestling mask.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way that it was like strapped to his face because he had the open eye holes and all that stuff, and the way it was pretty cool. It was really, really good. But like, my favorite player from this game was Amen Thompson. Dude is just so athletic and so quick, and
5 blocks.
Right.
they took one of them out. I actually checked the stats at the end. He had 4, so they took one of his blocks and made it a steal instead. And I'm like, oh man, because they even said on the broadcast he had 5, and that's what I thought. And as I was writing the stats down, I went and checked his stats, and they had it listed as 4. So they went back and must have taken one of them out for some reason. I'm not sure what, but yeah, I swear he had 5, but they had it written down as 4 at one point. So I don't know if they gave it back to him or what, but yeah, that dude, because you blocked Edey on one of them, and you saw it. He came out of nowhere and caught him on a layup. And it was like a split second too, because he had to come from like 4 steps back and then out jump him.
Right.
He's 6'7", and Zach Edey's 7'4". So not only do you have to make up the ground, then he had to out jump him at the same time.
Yeah.
To get that, I mean, it was just so quick. And if he doesn't time it right, it's a foul and an and one, because he makes that layup and then he gets a free throw.
Right.
But he times it perfectly, and it's so cool to watch what some of these guys can do, and they're so young. Like, he's only 22.
Yeah.
He's already playing that well.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he was everywhere in this game.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice how real the announcer's curse was throughout the whole thing? Because, like, on multiple occasions, there was one guy, he'd line up for a 3-point shot, and they'd be like, oh, he's the best 3-point thrower in the NBA, and then he misses it completely. And then there was another one where it was like, the guy was taking, like, a penalty shot, or not a penalty shot, a foul shot. Yeah, free throw. And he's like, oh, he's making 90% of his free throws, and he just bricks it. Go in. And it's like every time they said something, the guy screwed up.
Oh yeah, it was because it was Luke Kennard. Because he was I did notice that.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, he did. Yeah, and I mean, and this was, for the most part, this is again another really close game. The Grizzlies got the Rockets got out to an 11-point lead, and then in the third quarter, Grizzlies go on a 9-2 run and bring it right back and tie it. And from that point on, they're just making shot for shot, and still with good defense, because Grizzlies have, I think they said, like the 3rd or 4th ranked defense in the league this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, but even like I said, these teams are young, but they're just making shots, and they stayed poised this whole time.
Yeah.
And I mean, at one point, the Rockets had a really good offensive position. Like, it was like two of them in a row where their offensive possessions were just so well ran and timed, where they would start to drive, and as the defense would collapse to stop the layup, they'd kick it out to an open guy in the 3-point line. He would drive in, same thing. Then they'd find an open guy in the 3-point line, and they ran this offense where they would just drive and kick, and the defense couldn't keep up with them. And finally, that last guy, as he started to drive, would get that final layup, and then got a foul. Would get the layup, and he got a foul at the same time. And just watching the fluidity of that offense was just so fun to watch, and just to see the defense not to just be that step behind, and not even that far behind, honestly. Like, even by describing it, it sounds like they're just lost. They really weren't, but it's just that step to half step behind puts you that far behind, because they're just that quick at doing it, because these guys are just so fast.
Yeah. And then at the end, I think the refs were trying to give the game away the one guy West gets on the breakaway. They're down by 2. He's like free open for a layup, goes for the shot, and then the referee just calls a timeout for no good reason.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was just like, what? With 8 seconds to go in the game or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was just like, holy shit.
Yeah. The coach was livid, absolutely livid.
Yeah, they showed it on the replay. I would be too. In no way, shape, or form did he call a timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could see it. Like he's telling him to run.
Yeah,
It's a wide open layup, wide open dunk, and the ref calls a timeout. He's like, "No,
Yeah.
you can see me." And yeah, it's. I mean, they have no repercussion because they can't do anything about it. It wasn't a bad foul or anything. There's no challenge for it. It's like you gotta inbound it and make the shot again.
6 months from now, we find out that referee's got a lot of gambling debt.
Not another one.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, the only thing I was really disappointed with in this game was the last shot. When they settled for a 3-point shot instead of you're down by 1. Why would you just settle for a bad 3-point shot? Just drive it in and make the defense stop you on a layup drive. Put the pressure on the defense to stop you as you're driving. Either you get a foul or you can get a better shot at the basket. You bailed out the defense by taking a bad 3-point shot. It was so stupid and such a bad shot and a bad way to end such a good game. That was the most disappointing. That was the most disappointing spot to me, unfortunately, the entire game.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, this was just a really good game. Really good game.
There's a bit of a wrestling match too, which I did not expect. They were on the ground, literally on the ground, fighting for the ball multiple times in this game. It was kind of cool. And then I wrote it down. Hold on one sec. Mark Henry's song came on, and it was. It was during one of the commercial breaks, and they had these ribs that were playing basketball against somebody, and through the whole thing they were playing Mark Henry's theme song. And I had just written down oh man, this game's turning into a wrestling match, and then Mark Henry's theme song came on. It was great.
That's awesome.
So
yeah, I had written down because they put a lead on at one point. This game had 14 ties, 13 lead changes, and Houston had an 11-point lead, which they lost in the beginning of the third quarter, and then Memphis had a biggest lead of 4. It's overall this game was close the whole way through. And because the 3-pointers become more relevant in this game nowadays, an 8 to 10-point lead means nothing anymore.
Right.
It can disappear so quickly.
Seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's no lead is real safe anymore. 11-point lead means nothing.
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool. 14 ties and 13 lead changes throughout the entire game. It was just, this was such a fun one. I'm glad I picked it.
Yeah, it was a good game to watch.
It was. I'm so happy.
The funny thing is because we watch, I watch it, not live afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm watching the fourth quarter, and I'm like, man, I really thought this said that the Memphis won. I'm but it doesn't look like they're gonna. And they mounted that little comeback, and I was like, oh, that's good. Then they kind of stalled out, and I was just like, wait a minute, I thought they won this game. And I was like, oh, okay, it's just right at the end.
Yeah.
I did have a question though.
Yeah.
Why did the Grizzlies jerseys say the Vancouver Grizzlies?
So they used to be the Vancouver Grizzlies. So when the team first formed, they actually were an expansion team back in '95. So this is actually the 30th anniversary of the team.
Yeah.
They first came in the league with the Toronto Raptors, and they were the Vancouver Grizzlies and the Toronto Raptors. The team was not good at all in Vancouver. They couldn't put together a good team, and they just didn't have the attendance. They couldn't really stay afloat, so they ended up moving to Memphis. But being the 30th anniversary of the team, they've kind of been paying an homage to the Vancouver Grizzlies this season. So
Okay.
that's why they were said Vancouver, and they were the jerseys were kind of more of an homage to the Vancouver. That's kind of why I had more of a Native American feel.
Yeah.
Because they were used to be up in Vancouver.
Right.
So that's why they said Vancouver and kind of had more of that. But they've had some pretty cool jerseys like that recently. In the last couple of years, they've been kind of doing more of a homage to the Vancouver team that was there. So,
I mean, I like the idea of throwbacks. I just kind of feel it's weird wearing a different city on your chest. Like, if the Eagles were to like wear their throwbacks and have like the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets on instead of the Philadelphia Eagles, like, because even when they did wear them, they were still the Eagles, but it was like that would be weird.
Yeah, they don't. They do a lot more throwbacks in the NBA. They don't necessarily do the other cities. Sometimes they do. It just depends on who it is. Like every now and then, the Lakers will do Minneapolis because that's where they came from, but they'll do it as MPLS is what they'll do. They won't write out Minneapolis on the jersey.
Yeah,
but they'll do like MPLS sometimes. But that's about it. I'm not sure, but yeah, sometimes they will do like throwback jerseys like that. And some of them are pretty neat. Sometimes they'll do like city edition jerseys. Usually do new city edition jerseys every year.
Yeah,
they'll make a jersey that's kind of supposed to be representative of the city.
Yeah. I remember when Ben Simmons was in Philly and they had him pick the shirt for that, and he did Boathouse Row. And it was like everyone in Philly was just like, this is so obvious that you don't understand Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Like the only one who would associate Philadelphia with Boathouse Row is a goddamn tourist. Like,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, he is Australian, so yeah.
Still, like a Boathouse Row of all fucking things to pick. Like,
I mean, you could have picked Ben Franklin or something, dude.
Yeah. It's so many things.
So yeah, it's just nuts. But no, like when I was telling Tom earlier, like Amen Thompson is becoming one of my favorite young players in the league, and I really like this kid. And he's got a twin brother that was drafted like the pick right after he was.
Nice.
And they're.
I wonder which one was born first.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
But yeah, he's really, really fun to watch. And yeah, he's down in Houston and his brother's up in Detroit.
Nice.
So maybe one day they might play together on the same team again. Who knows?
That'd be interesting. Like, how do you know who's in the game?
You don't.
Yeah. The Bella Twin magic.
Right?
So, Adam, who do you have us watching next week?
All right. So this is going to be an introductory to Luka Doncic because of the trade that just recently happened. It's going to be a Dallas Mavericks game on December 1st from 2024. It's going to be the Mavericks versus the Portland Trailblazers in Portland.
All right.
And it will be on the NBA app. You'll have to just go back to December to catch the game.
Yeah.
So I was trying to see if I could find. He had a game. It was last season. He had a game where he scored 73 points in a game, but I couldn't find the entire game. I could only find like highlights of it, and I'm like, I don't want to do a highlight clip. I wanted to try to find an actual full game, and the NBA site doesn't have the whole entire game since it was last season. So we'll just do a full game instead. But yeah, so that's it. That's what we're gonna do for next week's show.
Cool.
All right.
So yeah. All right. And that's going to kind of move us into news from this week. And I got a rant about this whole Luka AD trade. So, as some of you may or may not know, the NBA trade deadline is actually going to be tomorrow, January 6th, is the trade deadline. So, we are in the middle of trade deadline season.
February 6th.
Sorry. I said January, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yes. February 6th. My bad. tomorrow, February 6th, is the trade deadline for the NBA season. And we get trades. Obviously, we don't always get big trades, but this is probably one of the biggest and probably worst trades of all times when it comes to the NBA, honestly. And it's not even that. It's really just the fact that you have traded like your franchise leading superstar for, I can't say a someone that I can't say like a bum, because Anthony Davis is still an all NBA caliber player. He is a top 15 player in the league. He is a good player. But to trade him for Anthony Davis and basically really nothing else, so you got a first round pick in 2029 and a young player who's a role player. But that's it.
4 years.
Like, he's also 6 years older than Luka Doncic, because Luka's 25 years old, and he's already a MVP runner-up. He's been an All-NBA first team 5 years out of the 6 years he's been in the NBA. The only year he didn't make it was his rookie season. 5-time All-NBA first team at 25 years old,
That's
5 years straight. Like, that's more than most other players in the NBA right now. Like, it's insane. Like, this kid is already one of the greatest players in the world. Top 3 in the league right now. And you traded him for almost nothing. Like, and you're trying to sell your fan base that you got better by trading away your best player for a more defensive-minded player. And like I said, Anthony Davis is not a bad player. I'm not saying he's not a bad player at all. He is a good player. He is a more defensive-minded person. And yes, Luka is not a good defender. He never has been. I'm not saying he never will be, but defense is never going to be what he hangs his hat on. It's just not what it's not what he does. He scores. He's one of the best scorers in the league. He led the league in scoring last year. He'll lead the league in scoring again. That's just what he does. But he's also one of the best all-around offensive players. He basically almost averages a triple-double every single season. He's almost doing it again this year. I mean, right now this year he's averaging 28 points, 8 rebounds, and almost 8 assists on 2 steals in 35 minutes a game. He's almost averaging 36 minutes a game in a 48-minute game, and you're going to tell me he's out of shape?
Yeah.
So if 36 minutes a game is out of shape, what's in shape then?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. You're going to tell me he was out of shape last year when he led the league in scoring? You're just lying to me now at this point. Like, you're just full of shit. Like, you're going to tell me now that your team is better when your team got old as shit. Like, it's... Like I said, Anthony Davis is a good player. He's averaging 25, 12 boards, 4 assists, 1.3 steals, and 2.1 blocks. So, I mean, like I said, he's not a bad player. He is a good player. But you could, I mean, if you were going to trade him, you could have gotten so much more than this. So much more than this. Like, you could have gotten younger players than this. You could have gotten more draft picks than this. You could have actually set yourself up for the future. As you did, you set yourself back for the future. Incredibly so. Because you have no draft picks. You traded all your draft picks to get other players to help Luka and set this team up for Luka. Because as of right now, I don't think they have a draft pick till maybe 27 at this point.
Wow.
So it's like you don't have a whole lot of draft picks. You sent the second or third best player in the league to the Los Angeles Lakers, who now has a chip on his shoulder because he wanted to stay in Dallas. He wanted to stay there.
Right.
He made it known he wants to stay there, and now you just sent him to LA. He's going to destroy your franchise whenever he plays you now, because now he's on a mission.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing? Like,
I don't know why do you trade for a draft pick so far out when you don't have any draft picks?
Because the Lakers didn't have any draft picks. That was the first one they could trade.
Wow.
All they had was a 2029 and a 2031. And you didn't even ask for the 2031 either. You could have gotten both. You should have gotten both for Luka.
Yeah.
Like, you should have gotten both. They had a young rookie that you could have gotten too that we probably again should have gotten, but you didn't get a rookie. You didn't get the rookie that's playing well. Like, their team is old. Like, their starting lineup right now, you have of the 5 starting lineups, 3 of them are over the age of 30, and in the NBA, over 30 is old.
Yeah.
Like,
you
even
should
though
have
they're
been
good players, they're still old.
You should have been thinking like not Saquon. Ugh. You should have been thinking Deshaun Watson caliber trade numbers here. I'm talking 1st and 3rd this year, 1st and 3rd next year, 1st and 3rd the year after that. That's how that should have gone down.
Well, here's the problem. There is no 3rd round draft pick. There's only 2 rounds of the NBA draft.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is it should have been like.
But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but like, yeah, so like the the Lakers have almost no draft picks at all. Like, even 2nd rounds, they have hardly any because they've traded so many of them. And so that's part of the issue. It's like you went to the team that legitimately has almost no draft assets to trade at all, and traded one of the biggest assets in the league, period.
How do you build a team without draft picks, though? Like, that's
the thing, because that's why the Lakers aren't that great right now, because they don't have draft assets.
Yeah.
Like, because that's kind of what LeBron does. When LeBron goes to a team, he wants to win right now because now he's old. He's 40.
Right.
So it's like, I want to win right now. I don't care about developing rookies.
Right.
We trade to get older guys so I can win now.
And bring my kid
that's
on.
What he did. I mean, granted, he's been there for a while, but they trade future draft picks to get guys that I can win with right now.
Yeah.
And then when they don't win and then he leaves, then they're just SOL because they traded all their future capital to win now. So
scorched earth, man.
Pretty much, yeah. So, but yeah, like the GM for the Mavericks is on record as saying that the trade set this team up for now as well as the future. It's just a straight lie. Everyone he traded for is old, except for like the one role player they got, who's like 22, 23. But again, there's absolutely no signs this dude will be more than a role player, bench player. Like, nothing. There's no future to be had from this at all. I mean, as long as Luke isn't playing and doesn't get start getting a bunch of injuries, Lakers are going to be a perennial playoff team. That's just how good Luka is. He can drag your team to the playoffs by himself. So he did in Dallas. We have the records to prove it. Proof right here. Proof. I mean, the best. I mean, I was going through and I was going kind of through to find other NFL trades to kind of compare this to, and I was looking through and I'm like, you know what? The best example I could find of this is if you took 2004 Peyton Manning and you traded him for 2004 Warren Sapp and a first-round pick, it would be about the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a first-round pick 4 years from now.
Yeah. And it's the same thing, because at that point, Peyton Manning was because I wanted to find when Peyton was drafted. So this was 5 years into Peyton's career. So he's in just beginning to get into his prime. Before the Super Bowl run and everything, hadn't won an MVP yet, hadn't won a Super Bowl yet. Warren Sapp is on the back end of his career. He was in Oakland at this point.
Yeah.
So he's already getting more towards the tail end. So you get a draft pick from Oakland 4 years into the future. And so it's this is the best equivalent that I could find to just completely just tank your entire organization and send them off a cliff.
Yeah, and in that future, Tom's sitting here wearing a 99 jersey instead.
No, I think in that future, Tom's wearing an 18 Raiders jersey instead. And Dallas is already offering refunds to season ticket holders that are canceling their tickets.
Oh, jeez.
Because there's already thousands of season ticket holders that are canceling their season for the rest of this season.
That's so nuts to me.
Because they were there for Luka. And Luka made this team. they were playing well. Like, and it's funny because a lot of the guys that went there, like their scoring averages up, their shooting percentages are up because Luka drew that much attention on the offensive side, and he's that good of a passer. He would find you for open shots. He drew that. He caused it. He is what made that offense run.
Like, I get being a draw, but to like be the only reason you're showing up, like as a professional wrestling fan, right? Like there are certain wrestlers that I'm gonna go out of my way to go see. But like if I already have tickets to a wrestling event and that wrestler pulls out, I'm not gonna not go to that wrestling event. Like that's just bizarre to me.
So I don't think it's solely because Luka's not there anymore. I think it's also the fact that it wasn't that even that. I think it's part of it is that they traded him for no reason. It's not that he asked out and then they traded him and that he was showing signs of discontent and that he wanted to leave. It was that he had made it known that he wanted to stay and that they just completely disregarded everything and got rid of him for no reason whatsoever. And that they had spent this entire time and all offseason building this team around him and then to ship him out and saying and that they're basically throwing him under the bus for the reason why they've been losing why they haven't won a championship.
That's ridiculous.
The GM even came out and said that basically he came out and said that defense wins championships and they were never going to win with Luka on the team because he doesn't play defense. And it's like, dude, they were in the finals last year because of Luka. Like he basically pulled that team to the finals, and he was the one scorer. He basically was the lead engine that pulled them there. Did he not play defense well? No, he didn't. He was also hurt and had a bad knee when they got to the finals, and was hurt mobility wise because of it, and was still their leading scorer. But that's also why you build a team of defenders around him to help with that. Like, that's also part of your job is to build the defense to help him.
Right.
That's part of your job. So if the defense failed, part of it is on him because does he need to work a little bit harder on defense? Yes. Do you need to build a defensive team around him to help with that? Also, yes. So you also failed. So I think that's also what they're mad at, is that not only do they trade him, but he's also throwing him completely under the bus.
Yeah.
So I think they're also just fed up with the organization for that as well.
Well, to go along with your Peyton Manning analogy, he also did not play defense very well.
No, he didn't.
All right. So, pardon me. So, moving along to the final segment of the podcast, the trivia section.
Woo!
This is a game called Who Am I? Super Bowl Edition.
All right.
I have a list for those of you new to the podcast. This is where I have a list of NFL players, and I will give them 3 clues to help you try and guess who they are. After each clue, you'll both guess in turn. Whoever guesses first wins. Since this is the Super Bowl edition, these are all NFL players who have been part of a winning Super Bowl team at least twice.
Okay.
And also hold an NFL record.
Okay.
Now, after the bloodbath of last week, I revamped how I gave the clues out here, so it's going to be a little tougher. We'll start off with Pete.
All right.
I was drafted number 42 overall in 2010, and I was part of 2 teams.
Okay. 2010, you said they've won 2 Super Bowls?
Yep.
So if you were drafted in 2010, you would be playing in your 14th season right now. So, and you've played for 2 separate teams. Ooh. 2 rings, 2010. I'm going to go with What is his name? What is his name? What is his name? Long. What's his first name? I can't think of his first name. Howie Long's kid. Damn it. Do you know who I'm talking about? Justin
I know
Long?
who you're talking about.
Not Justin Long.
I can't remember his name either, but no,
Yeah,
it's not Howie Long's kid.
Okay, not Howie Long's kid.
Adam, would you like to steal?
Is it Bobby Wagner?
It is not. I was part of a winning Super Bowl team 4 times, and I hold 2 NFL records. One for the most total touchdowns in a season by a tight end at 18, and the most receiving touchdowns in a season by a tight end at 17.
That'd be Ron Gronkowski.
It is Ron Gronkowski.
Isn't it Rob Gronkowski, not Ron?
Yeah, sorry, it is Rob.
Rob, sorry. Gronk, Jesus. No one calls him No one calls him Rob. Even his mom calls him Gronk.
Heck. Adam, I was undrafted in 1996, and I was part of 2 teams in my career.
Wow, undrafted, huh? It makes me think he's a kicker. Is it Adam Vinatieri?
Oh my God.
That's awesome. You know, I was totally thinking kicker too, but I was going to go David Akers.
I didn't even get to do the cool one. I was
That
part
was
of
the cool one. I got him on the first one.
I was part of Super Bowl winning team 4 times, and I hold 8 NFL records, including the one for the most seasons with more than 100 points at 21.
Oh, damn.
Oh man, that was good,
Hell
man. Pete, I was drafted 63 overall in 2013, and I was part of only 1 team.
63rd overall, drafted in 2013, which means you're playing in your 11th season. You've only been part of 1 team, and you've won the Super Bowl twice. And
Yeah, at least twice.
At least twice. Okay.
Yeah, because Vinatieri and Gronk were both 4s.
I'm gonna go with Travis Kelce.
It is Travis Kelce.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Give me all the tight ends.
If I get another kicker, this is going to be hilarious.
Adam, I was drafted number 16 overall in 1985.
Definitely not a kicker.
And I was part of 4 teams, but one of them was only as off-season or practice squad.
That had to be, I'm guessing, at the end of his career when he got cut and then retired. Okay. 4 teams starting in 85. That was... Jerry Rice.
Oh my God.
That's who I was gonna say. Damn, I knew it though.
That's pretty good, man. Very good, very good.
I think the winning two.
Was Seattle the team where he was the practice squad?
Denver.
Denver.
Okay.
He actually
That's right, 'cause it was Seattle was where he was at when he was the last team. Was it Seattle where he played last?
Niners, Raiders, Seahawks, and then Broncos.
Yep, Seattle. Okay, cool.
Pete, I was drafted number 1 overall in 1989. Oh, sorry, 1998, and I was part of 2 teams.
Is it Peyton Manning?
Yeah, it's Peyton Manning. I didn't know Adam was going to tell his story before.
I think that one's a softball no matter what, man. Drafted first overall the year before McNabb.
Heck. I need to make these harder. All right. Adam, I was drafted number 11 overall in 2004, and I was only part of one team.
11 in 2004. Okay, 2004. That is the Eli draft with Rivers and Roethlisberger. And Matt Ryan, I think, is in that same draft. So it's not Ryan. It's not Rivers. Is this Big Ben?
It is Big Ben.
Yes. Damn.
I thought for a minute you were going to go right over Roethlisberger. I was like, oh, crap. Pete, I was drafted number 10 overall in 2003, and I was part of 3 teams.
10th overall, 2003. 2003, part of 3 teams. Sounds a lot like Deshaun, I don't want to score Jackson.
No.
No.
Oh, sorry. Was that
No,
your guess?
yeah, that was my guess,
Oh.
yeah.
Adam, do you want to steal?
2003. Oh. Man, I am not sure. 2003. Because I'm not sure who the number 1 pick back in 03 was. Because it's after LT. Because he was 01. It's also before Peterson. I think he was like 07 or something like that. I don't know. We'll go Roddy White.
No. I was part of 2 winning Super Bowl teams, and I hold 1 NFL record for the most career tackles for a loss at 201.
Yeah, I don't know who I was thinking when I said Deshaun Jackson, because I don't think he's even won 1 Super Bowl, and we had established that he was supposed to have won at least 2 Super Bowls. I forgot about that.
Nope.
And that is leading me more towards the Michael Strahan side, but I think you said he played for 2 teams in the first round, yeah?
3 teams.
3 teams in the first round, so maybe not Michael Strahan. 3 teams, 2003. You said 10th overall?
Yes.
10th overall. God, I don't know who that. Let's go. I don't know if he's won Super Bowls. No, I don't think he has. I was gonna say Ndamukong Suh, but I don't think he's won. If he's won one, he's only won 1. I don't know. No. Well, I'm not gonna. I don't want to say Strahan, and I'm lost. I'm gonna go Ndamukong Suh.
No. Adam, would you like to steal?
Well, I know it's not Strahan. He was actually drafted like in 95. I actually think this is Vince
really?
Wilfork.
No.
Strahan was drafted in 95 and played all the way till like
2004 or 5.
Oh, okay. I thought he played until like 2012.
No, he
okay.
played like 2004, 2005.
Okay. All right.
I only know this because I was looking him up for the Peyton Manning trade thing. That's the only reason I know this.
And for the last clue, I was a linebacker for Baltimore from 2003 to 2018, and then the Cardinals in 19, and then the Chiefs in 19.
The Chiefs in 19. Was it Snead? Is that his name?
I think you know who it is. but it's not Sneed.
It's not Sneed.
Huh. There's no... No, Ray Lewis didn't leave.
Ray Lewis is still playing for the Baltimore Ravens.
It's not Peter Boldware. It's not Bart Scott. It's not Doomerville. I don't know who this is. Who the hell is this?
I will admit this is a bit of a tough one.
You'd think I'd know who it from 03 to 18 he played in Baltimore.
Yep.
Can I do one more guess after you?
It
doesn't have to count.
I have no idea.
Go for it.
Is it Terrell Suggs?
It is Terrell Suggs.
Ah, damn it.
Man.
When you said Sneed, I was like, I think he knows who it's supposed to be. And for the final question of the evening, Adam, I was drafted number 5 overall in 1989, and I was part of 5 teams. And I did not give you all the old ones. This was...
Number 5 in 89. Wow. Okay, let's see. Well, it's not LT because he breaks Theismann's leg in like 86 or 87. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a random name out there, Chris Spellman.
No. Pete, would you like to steal?
What round was he drafted in?
First round, he was drafted number 5 overall in
That's
89.
5 in 89, and he's been in 2 Super Bowls and has one
At least
2 Super Bowls and has been in one. All right, so
And he's part of 5 teams.
5 teams. Oh my goodness. 89. Oh, who would have been a journeyman? You know what? I'm gonna go Brett Favre.
No.
All right.
I was part of the winning Super Bowl team 2 times, and I hold 1 NFL record for the career return touchdowns at 19.
Deion Sanders.
It is Deion Sanders. Was it the return touchdowns
It was the
record?
return touchdowns, yeah.
He only has 1 record, so I have to give it.
Yeah.
Favre was.
Oh,
I was just say Favre was drafted in 91. I wasn't that far off.
I didn't think Favre was that high of a draft pick, honestly.
Oh, I don't know what number he was.
I have no idea. I didn't think he was, because he came in as like a 2nd or 3rd string quarterback, so I didn't think he was that high of a pick.
yeah. So Terrell Suggs was the monkey wrench in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I totally spaced on Suggs. I'm like that. Because I'm like, I know there's a dude that I'm forgetting about that was.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I was telling Tom, man, I'm gonna have to get a Luka Doncic jersey in LA now. This sucks. I never thought I'd buy a Lakers jersey, but apparently here we are, man.
Apparently.
Hey, man, support your players.
I tend to agree with you.
Support the players, not the organization.
Right. Exactly.
So, all right, that's kind of all I got. You guys got anything else you want to add before the wrap up this week's Super Bowl show?
Well, for the final time in the 2024 NFL season, go Birds!
I want to throw out a quick congratulations to Angel Reese for being the first person ejected from the Unrivaled League for arguing with an official. And congratulations to Caitlin Clark for having her number retired from Iowa for Iowa's Women's Basketball League, and for also joining Peyton Manning in the Children's Hospital fundraisers. Woo! Woo! And for all the baseball fans, tomorrow is George Herman Babe Ruth's birthday, so light a candle.
All right.
Second greatest baseball player ever. All right, guys, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Next time, may the coin toss of life be in your favor.
Go Birds.
Peace.